Welcome to another episode of Standin On Business, where we interview the hottest entrepreneurs and the most successful business owners. Today we are here with
Harold Riley of Jacksonville Housing and Credit Counseling Services and also Concord Realtor in Northeast Florida.
Okay, Mr. Riley. So tell us about what you do.
I'm actually originally from Memphis, Tennessee. I retired from the military and moved here about 20 years ago. I got it started in the housing industry, and I saw a need for people who wanted to buy a house to get the proper counseling. They had several agencies around town that were doing things a little bit different than I saw the way things should be done. So my wife and I, we already owned a real estate company, so it made sense to kind of put the two together. So we kind of groom these folks for home ownership rather than take somebody out to buy a house. We go through the budgeting and the mindset and the whole 9 yards before you even get to see a house. So we do things a little bit different, but we've been pretty successful in how we do it.
Okay, I like that. So instead of just focusing on getting a house, you kind of focus on preparing them mentally.
Right. Mindset is the biggest thing. This is the hardest thing to change with anybody, man. And I think sometimes folks see the picture, but they don't know how the picture was painted. So what we do is we groom them. You start managing your money, but also you separate your wants from your needs so that you understand that home ownership is for the long haul, it's not for the short haul. And you can be sustainable with that home ownership.
Nice. Okay. So when it comes to the Black Vegan Fest, what inspired you to sponsor such an event?
I get involved in a lot of things around town. And one of the things that really bothers me is when I'm on my morning walks, I see kids going to school. When I was growing up, 11, 12 years old, you didn't weigh 200 pounds. So when Dalo, he offered me the opportunity to sponsor that, I saw the need, especially in underserved communities. It's real important because they don't have, the opportunity to get some of the things that folks in other neighborhoods can get. So I think it's good that we start exposing our community to better eating, and get away from some of the bad things.
Okay, I like that. And how would you say your mission aligns with the mission of making sure that, like you said, we have more education on eating healthier and the mission of the Urban Geoponics to expand education on growing food and things of that nature?
Every time I get involved with things, I always go back to Tupac. When he said 1, 2, teach 2, 2, teach 4, 4, teach more. So anytime you have an opportunity to collaborate with somebody that's doing something positive within the community, you always want to do that because whether it's on home ownership or it's eating better or it's exercise or whatever the case may be, they all gonna go hand in hand. Because if I can put someone in a home, what good is it to their family if they're gone at 40 years old? So if you can eat better and take care of yourself, it's only a benefit.
I like that. It's definitely a benefit. Just like having that financial knowledge, you got to have knowledge of your health and eating habits as well.
Right. And it's got to be all together. It can't just be one thing. So many times that we want to take pieces of a puzzle and put a puzzle together. It don't work like that. You need all the pieces to put the puzzle together. And, when I talk to him, better eating is part of it. I didn't grow up a vegan, of course, but my wife and I have, we take 1 or 2 days a week where we do eat nothing but fruits and vegetables.
That's good.
But it doesn't start.
Right. Like you said, you just start 1 or 2 days. It doesn't have to be drastic change, but those 2 days are helping your body to kind of reset.
Definitely. And I'll give you a personal story. I stopped drinking about 3 years ago. My blood pressure went up to 190 over 90. And I'm a hypochondriac, so I went to the emergency room. I didn't even wait to see my primary care physician. And what he explained to me is, what you put in your body, that's the result. And I didn't realize that the drinking and the bad eating, the lack of exercising and all those things were contributing to the high blood pressure. And by just eliminating some things out of my diet, eliminating the drinking, I think my blood pressure now averages around 115 over 70, something like that.
Wow.
So it's important that we kind of, within our community, man, is trying to get a hold of, how we're taking care of ourselves, how we're eating, and hopefully this vegan fest leads to people to start growing some of their own things in the yard. We can all do, little gardens like we did when I was a kid. They don't have to be in ground, but if you can do a little something, that's a start.
Right.
It's just that, so many times, man, within and I say our community a lot because that's the most people I'm around, people who look like me. And it's scary. It's scary to see kids, so big at a young age. I walk in the grocery store, I see folks 25, 26 years old on scooter because they don't want to walk. And that kind of stuff, man. So anytime that you can promote healthy living, I'm all for it. And I'll do whatever I can to help.
So do you feel like the intersection of veganism and our Black culture can kind of give people an easier way to kind of get towards or work towards healthier living?
I mean, most definitely. I mean, growing up in South Memphis, we had the market man. The market man would drive through the neighborhoods once or twice a week. That's where you got your greens. That's where you got your cabbage, your apples, your oranges. You got all these things once a week. Your tomatoes. So you didn't have a meal where you didn't have fresh vegetables.
Wow. And
when you didn't have fresh vegetables, you froze them. You just went to the freezer and got them because you spent the fall picking peas and shucking corn and that kind of stuff, and you froze them. But somewhere along the way, we got away from that. And then we started eating all this this junk food, I call it, and look what it's done to us. Right. And I don't think it only affects you physically. I think it affects you mentally as well.
Yeah.
And I just think we need to get away from that. It's always temptation will always be there, but that shouldn't be your sole source of protein.
Okay.
But yeah, I think definitely it can coexist. It's definitely needed in our community, and I would like to see more of this action.
What type of impact do you hope that this event, the Black Vegan Fest, has on the Black community in Jacksonville?
Man, I think the impact should be minimal, because hopefully the people, because a lot of times when you have an event, you don't get the turnout that you always look for. But if you can get people there who are positive, who come there, who learn, and they take the message and they spread it out in the community, it's a success. So necessarily it ain't all in big numbers, but it's who comes to the party.
I like that.
So just say if you open a supermarket, you have a grand opening, and 100 people show up, but 99 of them ain't got no money. So what good is that doing to you? But if you get people that come and they take this message back, say, hey, I learned a lot. We ought to, start doing this. Or, you may have folks that have churches. You may have folks that be in social groups and folks like me who counsel different people. And when they can put this message out, then your message gets out. And it can be very impactful over time.
Right.
So sometimes we always look for that home run, but a single is good too, because it gets us on basis to start.
I like that. I love that. Okay. So each one teach one.
Each one teach one.
Nice.
That's what it's all about.
First, I'd like to say thank you, Mr. Harold, for your time.
No problem.
Also for sponsoring such an event, because like you said, this is needed in Jacksonville, so people can just kind of focus on a healthier lifestyle, especially in the Black community. So we appreciate you.
Definitely needed.
Do you have a website you'd like to share?
Yeah, Jacksonville Housing Credit Counseling.org. You can reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to set up an appointment. We can Zoom or do whatever. But most definitely, we're here to help.